This is Nerd World Problems, things that matter to awesome people. Vengeance on Varos is, in a word, brilliant. It's a reminder that Doctor Who still has a relevant point to make, and it's a point that still has relevance now, albeit in slightly different ways. It's such a clever and thoughtful script, almost Black Mirror-esque. If you were to take this script and produce it now, it would take only a few tweaks to make this a thumpingly good modern story. Sure, there are a couple of ropey moments, such as some of the visual effects and the nappy-wearing cannibals, but this story is solid. But sadly, this is another story marred by controversy, so let's get it out the way. Yes, the acid bath scene. This infamous scene is not faultless, but it is nowhere near as bad as reputation suggests. If you break down the scene shot by shot, firstly, the two Varosian guards dump a body into the vat of acid. This not only demonstrates the danger, but also that these are bad people, and demonstrates their intent. When the Doctor comes round, one of the guards is knocked into the vat in surprise. The second guard then attacks the Doctor, who defends himself with a stretcher. Both the Doctor and the guard are at equal risk of falling into the vat in the struggle, with the guard on the offensive. Admittedly, the choreography isn't brilliant, but that is due to the set being quite confined and working on a multi-camera setup. However, it is the first guard that reaches out and grabs the second, pulling him into the acid. The Doctor then reacts with disgust at what has just happened. It's only the final quip, "You'll forgive me if I don't join you," that seems callous, but was most likely a slither of black humour to diffuse the tense atmosphere.
Forgive me if I don't join you.
Again, this myth defines the story as the one where the Doctor pushes the bloke into the acid bath. But there's so much more to this story. It's very hard to fault. In terms of character, the Doctor is a lot more stable and starting to get into his stride. He is confident, bordering on arrogant, but not dislikable. He really has mellowed dramatically, and this is the story that forces the Doctor to use his wits and take on a real issue. There is a bit of a wobble in the first episode when the TARDIS runs out of power, and the Doctor deems the best course of action to be sulking, which doesn't introduce the lead very well to this story. The story also features many other memorable characters. The Governor, the Chief Officer, which contradicts my criticism of Hellbent in that none of the characters have actual names or names spoken on screen, and of course we have to mention Syl. Syl is the second to last original returning antagonist in the classic series. With good reason, he works brilliantly. It is a combination of great design and a superb performance by Nabil Shaban, and the creative usage of a disabled performer. It's something that hasn't really been seen since. Vengeance on Varos is far from style over substance. There is so much going on here. At the time, it was a commentary on the rise of home video and, by association, the video nasty and capital punishment. Now, however, there are links to reality TV, internet trolls, binge-watching, on-demand viewing, X-rated online material, the current political system, media monopolies, voyeurism, and that's just what I can think of off the top of my head. Whilst throwing in challenging subject matter is no bad thing, I do get why perhaps it might have been a bit too heavy for kids, and why some parents may have been uncomfortable letting their kids watch it. Also in this season, which is generally a lot darker, Varos loses some bits of its individuality, being part of the rule rather than the exception. I like consistency, but I think this tone is something that is best only being adopted as the exception rather than the rule, as we saw with the Caves of Androzani the previous year. It's great, but you wouldn't want Doctor Who to be like that all the time. I hope you've enjoyed this episode by episode analysis of the Sixth Doctor. Please let me know your thoughts about the character in the comment section below, and if you want to see more videos like this. In the meantime, please check out my blog, Nerd World Problems, at drtripod.wordpress.com, where you can find typed up versions of each of these episodes.